Hi everyone, this is Jackie Jones, founder and CEO of Way We Do. Hope you are all going well. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to add a new user to Way We Do when you add them to another app, such as your HR system or a scheduling system or even a CRM system, for example. So today I'll be demonstrating adding a new user to Microsoft StaffHub, which is a scheduling platform. So hotels and restaurants and organisations that have part-time or casual staff use a platform like Microsoft StaffHub. And of course, there'll be other ones available that you may be using. So I'm going to jump into Microsoft StaffHub. I've already created a team called Macarons. So this is our company, which is a fake or fictitious Macarons patisserie. And currently I have one team member, and what I want to do is create a flow in Microsoft Flow, or using the Way We Do connector as well as the Microsoft StaffHub connector, and then have that user being invited to the Macarons French patisserie account on Way We Do. So I'm going to go back to Microsoft Flow. So Microsoft Flow is a third-party connector and enables multiple web apps to talk to each other and to automate processes. So I'm going to add or do a search for Microsoft StaffHub as a trigger. So when that trigger occurs, so when we add a new staff member in StaffHub, then we then want resulting actions to happen based upon that particular trigger. So first of all, when I create a new flow, I simply go to search here, and I can search for a new or for a connector. And I'm going to search for Microsoft StaffHub. And so it's this one here, so I'll select that item. And what I want to do is select a trigger. So there's a range of triggers available, and the one I want is when a new member is added to the team. So I'm going to select this particular item. From there, it is asking me to add the ID of the team. So I'm going to put my cursor into that field, and when you already have when you're using Office 365, of course, Microsoft Flow and other apps are automatically available within your account. So if you have already set up Microsoft StaffHub, then it will be available here. So you don't necessarily have to connect it to Microsoft Flow. Unlike other apps like Way We Do, you have to actually connect the two apps together. So I'm going to select the Macarons team here from StaffHub. Okay, from there I'm going to add a new step, and the step I would like to add first is the Macarons team details. And so I want to get some details about the Macarons team as well as the individual team member details. So within the team details, there's a range of information such as time zone that's available and other particular information. So I'm going to click add a new step. And again, I'm going to search for Microsoft StaffHub. And we have a list of actions that are available here. And the one that I want is getting the team details. Here we go, so get team details. And again, I place my cursor into this field to add the unique ID of the team, which again, we can select it or hard code the team that we're setting this up for, or it can actually be a custom value there. I'm going to select Macarons again. An additional step I would like to add is getting the individual team member details, because when I add, when that new user is added to StaffHub, then I want some of those details to be transferred across to Way We Do when we require certain information about that new user. So again, I'm going to do a search for Microsoft StaffHub, and the actions are displayed there. And I'm looking for the team member details. So we'll just look for that one. So get a team member by ID. So it's this particular item here. So again, it's asking me for some additional information. So it's the unique ID of the team. So I'm going to hard code that as being macarons. And then it's asking for the ID of the team member. So I only have one user in StaffHub currently, which is Daniel Sargent. He happens to be our CTO of Way We Do. But we can also add dynamic users or user information. So I'm going to select Enter Custom Value. And the information or the parameter that I need to add here is information about that user. So, and you have to be careful that when you look at the instructions here, the wording or the terminology may be slightly different. And in this case, Microsoft StaffHub have changed the term. Instead of being member ID, they've called it a resource ID. So essentially it's the same thing. So I'm going to select resource ID there. Okay, so now we've got all the information that we need about the team within StaffHub, which is macarons, and all the information associated with that, and also the team member by ID. So, and there's other information that's available that's associated with that ID, such as first name, last name, etc. So the next step is that we want to add a new user to Way We Do. So I click New Step, and then I can add or do a search for Way We Do. Okay, and we've got a range of actions here. So we're going to select the one called Add a New User. And now we can access the information that we want to get from StaffHub so that it's transferred through to Way We Do when we add that user. So the first field is the first name. So I'm going to select first name and then last name. We want their email address, their security role. So this information is not available in StaffHub. So we need to make a decision. So in this case, we're hard coding it, unless, I mean, we can actually enter a custom value if this information is available in another web app. So it could be, I don't know, Active Directory, for example. But in this particular demo, I'm just going to add or select user. So it means that every team member that's added to StaffHub will be added as a general user within Way We Do rather than an administrator or editor. The next item is adding a company role. And currently, this is mandatory. We are going to be changing this so it is an optional item. And again, a company role is the actual job that person performs within the team or within the business. So I'm going to, for the sake of this demo, I'm going to select bakery assistant. Again, this information could be available within Active Directory or another system because it doesn't seem to be available in StaffHub where you can select roles for each individual, each team member. But maybe you can get that data from another system and use that to compile that information so it can be dynamically sent through to Way We Do. But we'll select bakery assistant. From there, next is time zone. So in Way We Do, we request that a time zone is added to that user's profile. And you can actually select the time zone manually here, or you can select a custom value. If I select custom value, I can actually go through the data here and then look at the time zone of the team. The only problem with this is that the way that the time zone is formatted in StaffHub is a different formatting to the way that Way We Do formats that time zone data. So there needs to be some mapping that goes on between the two. So we can understand, or the Way We Do application can understand the time zone that is actually specified in StaffHub. So I won't actually go through that in this particular demo. I will create another video that will focus on that particular item. So for now, I'm going to delete that and I'm going to hard code it to a particular time zone. So it could be that you're in Eastern Standard Time or maybe Pacific time. So I'm going to find Eastern Standard Time. I'm actually based in Brisbane, but I'm going to select Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so I've got Eastern Standard Time there. And so now we've created this flow, and now we're going to save it. And you may want to give it a particular name. So up here, it automatically says when a new team member is added to the team. So maybe we want to make that more specific. So I'm going to call this when a new team member is added to StaffHub. Okay. Okay, so with any process or flow that you create, you definitely need to test it. So we're going to do that by clicking the test button. And I'm just going to delete something on my other screen here. Okay, so we've already clicked save, and now we're going to test it by clicking the test button. And there's an option here called I'll perform the trigger action. So I'll select this item and then click save and test. From there, Flow is waiting for us to perform that trigger action. So we need to go to StaffHub and actually add the user. So I'm going to add the new team member here, which is available from team in the main navigation. And I'm going to enter the name of the team member. Oh. Add in the last name. Add in the email address. You can enter in a mobile number, which means that you can send an invite to that user via SMS, or you can send an email. So I'll select that particular option. There's also an option here to allow that team member to create or modify schedules. Most managers probably won't allow their team member to do that, so I'll just leave that disabled for now. So I'm going to click Save and Invite, and it actually brings up an email in Outlook. So it doesn't actually automatically send that email to that user. You'll need to actually send that to the team member yourself manually. So I'm just going to close that particular item. And if we go back to Flow, actually it's showing that this flow has failed. So let's take a look at that and look at the reason why. It's saying here that the user already exists. So let's go back to our Way We Do account. Actually, I do have the user there, so let's remove them as a user. So this is why it's really, really important to do some testing. So let's go back to Microsoft Flow, and I'm going to click Edit, and we're going to perform that test again. And actually, before doing that, so we've removed the user from Way We Do, and we're going to remove them from StaffHub. Okay, so let's now test that again. And I'm going to add that team member, enter their name. Which I've unticked that item, click Save. Okay, if we go back to Microsoft Flow, and it's waiting for all those actions to occur. And you can see here that each of these steps have taken 0 seconds or 1 second. When you add a new user to Way We Do, it's actually performing multiple functions there. One, it's adding them as a user, and it's also automatically sending the invite email to that person. So if I go back to Way We Do and I refresh this page, then we have the new user added there, and it means that person will receive that email They simply validate that login simply by clicking on the invite token or the link that's in their email, and that enables them to then access Way We Do. So great. Okay, so we've just created a new flow in Microsoft Flow. So when a new team member is added to StaffHub, and then you're adding that user automatically to Way We Do. If you have any questions about Microsoft Flow and how to connect Way We Do with any of the apps that you are using in your business or organization, feel free to contact our team at support@waywedo.com. If you don't have a Way We Do account, simply go to waywedo.com and then click on the buttons where you can create a new trial account, and then you can have a play with the platform. We look forward to speaking with you in the future and helping you streamline operations in your business and organization. Bye.